You are looking at PyPI.org. Here you can find thousands of Python packages. I have just made my first package and I want to show you how I did it. The package allows me to show directory trees from the terminal. In this tutorial you will learn how to create this Python package. You learn how it is structured and how to test locally. Then how to build it and upload to PyPI. Let's go! So I started with my first package, and my, what an adventure! In fact, there is so much to tell that I split it up in 3 parts. Local packages and the import system, developing and building distributable packages, and published packages on PyPI. This is part 3. In this part, you and I will publish the package we created in part 2 on PyPI. If you missed part 2, click here to see it first. Otherwise, let's go! Now in theory you can publish your packages directly to PyPI, but I encourage you to do a test upload first. You see, PyPI also has a test environment, which is where I'll start. I went to this address and clicked Register. I filled in my information and created the account. Once I created the account, PyPI required 2-factor authentication, which I added. The packaging documentation tells me to first create a PyPI token with the scope set to entire account. Let me do that. I've logged into TestPyPI and I have no projects yet. I go to my account settings and add an API token. I call it Test Token. The scope is entire account. I click Create Token. Here is the token and I copy it to my clipboard. Be careful because the token will only be shown once. I'll leave the site open just in case. The documentation continues to describe that I need Twine to upload the distribution packages. I'll put a link to the documentation in the description so you can see what it looks like on Windows. It continues to say that I will be prompted for the token, but I don't want that and there is an alternative to this. Watch this. In my home folder I create a file called .pypirc. I open in VS Code and add these keys. The documentation advises to add my username to the package so it won't conflict with other pages on TestPyPI. So I will rename my package root folder and project name in the TOML file. I add my username here and to the package folder. And I'm going to delete all artifacts created by setup tools. I also pip uninstall the package in my virtual environment. I install Twine. I build a new distributable. And upload to TestPyPI. The operation failed and I think I know the problem. To prepare this video, I already uploaded a few versions of this package. Probably there is a name and version conflict. I can check with the verbose flag. And there it is. I must use a different version number. I bump it a few versions. Now I need to build again. And upload again. Another error. But from my previous experiments, I know what it is. Twine is uploading all versions. I delete version 001. And try a final time. Yes! I open the link and there it is. Now the project still needs some metadata, but first let me check if it works. I copy the command. I pip list to make sure there is no installed package. And pip install. I pip list again. And yep, that worked. I open the test script and add the username to the package name here as well and execute the script. Very nice. By the way, I put everything you see here in an ebook and a link to it is in the description. The ebook contains a step-by-step description how to make packages, test them locally and publish them on PyPI. And that includes adding metadata to the PyPI page. Because this description might be good enough for TestPyPI, but not for the real PyPI. I know I'm going to need a description, a license and a homepage. The description can be picked up from a README file and the homepage can be a GitHub page. So, I created a GitHub repository for the project. And here it is. It has all the code I wrote so far, plus a license and README. Let me show you what they look like. Here is the license. I'll tell you in a minute where I found it. First, let me show the README. It has a project description and describes how to install the package. Now, here is the question. How do I link this info to PyPI? Well, that happens in the TOML file. First I add a list of authors. Then I specify what README to use. And I can also add some target platform information. The type of license is MIT. And finally I link the project to a GitHub page. I bump the version to 1.0.0. And build a package. Then I upload the package. And that works. I switch to the browser and refresh the page. Here is a new version number, the project description and the other data from pyproject.toml. And when I click on Homepage, that should work too. And from the repo I can navigate back to the TestPyPI page. Let me explain one more thing, and that is the license. I am not an expert on licenses and I will not give you any advice on which one to choose. But I'll tell you what I chose. I went to the documentation and found this. I just want to share my own work without legal restrictions. The documentation has a link to the MIT license where you can read the details. You must decide for yourself if this is the license that fits your project. One thing is important to know. I just published to TestPyPI, and the documentation says this is not permanent storage. Packages might be deleted automatically, and this is just for testing. The solution, of course, is to push the package to the real PyPI. For this, you just need to repeat the steps from this tutorial and move from testpypi.org to pypi.org. I encourage you to first check if your wish name is still available. Or you might end up with the word tree with 3 E's. Almost done. You have seen me typing the tree command from the terminal, but how does that work? Right now, that does not work. But at this point it is easy to achieve. For this I add another key to the TOML file. That is the name of the package, the name of the module and the function that is called when I execute tree. I pip uninstall the current version. I build a new one. and pip install it from the wheel. And now I can do this. The output is very big and this is not suited for my tutorials. So I've made another version of Tree where items can be excluded from the output. I moved the final project to pypi.org. Let me show you. I search Tree. Install it and execute from the command line. Notice I get a lot of output. Why not exclude the virtual environment? I make text file .treeignore. And add env to it. I run again. That is better. I also want to exclude the dist folder. I execute again. I use a wildcard to exclude egg items. That is better. This is what I wanted for my tutorials. A tree sorted alphabetically, folders first, then files, and where I can exclude items. If you go to the PyPI page, it also has a homepage link. Click on it to get the final code, including the possibility to exclude items. Now, of course, you can automate the whole process by using a build script. And to see how that works, click on this video. There you will see how to use GitHub Actions to automate building packages.